Hello everybody, it's Mrs. Pound and I'm back with another video for chapter 2.4 on protists from Purposeful Designs Life Science. The section we're going to talk about today is section 244 on animal-like protists. So our objectives today are to explain why some protists are considered animal-like and identify and describe three major groups of protozoa: amoebas, ciliates, and zooflagellates. So protozoa is another name for the animal-like protists. When we talk about protozoa, it is a certain type of protist, the animal-like ones. They are considered to be animal-like because they are heterotrophs, which means they cannot make their own food, unlike autotrophs, that can move. And their cells do not have a cell wall. And so that makes them just more animal-like. The fact that they are heterotrophs, they move, they don't have a cell wall. The first type of protozoa I want to talk about is the amoeba. And this is an animal-like protist with a pseudopod. They can actually be pretty difficult to spot under a microscope because they're pretty see-through. And here is an amoeba. Now, a pseudopod is a flowing extension of cytoplasm that amoebas use to move and to gather food. Pseudopod means false foot, and there are these extensions here. And like I said, they use them to move. They also use them to surround food. So this pseudopod here could grow around food, a food particle, and trap it in there and join with this pseudopod over here, forming a vacuole that then the food will be digested in that vacuole. So that's how an amoeba eats. They also reproduce using binary fission. So they duplicate and split their genetic material, and they would form two nuclei. And say in this area here, maybe this is pinching off, and this could form into one amoeba and this into another amoeba. And they do tend to cause the disease dysentery. This is a disease of the intestines that results in severe diarrhea and abdominal pain. And this disease is prevalent where there's poor sanitation and where sewage is not treated. So it used to be pretty prevalent in a lot of places. Now, not as prevalent, but still in underdeveloped countries, it is a problem. Ciliates are another type of animal-like protist. And all ciliates have cilia. These are tiny hair-like projections that move rhythmically to help ciliates move. So you can kind of see those along the edge of this paramecium. They have two nuclei. They have a larger and a smaller nucleus. The larger nucleus is what controls the cell and contains all the genetic material. The smaller nucleus is used in reproduction. And one way they can reproduce is by conjugation. This is the process of sexual reproduction in which two unicellular organisms exchange genetic material. So these two paramecium here would just line up together and exchange genetic material. And an example is a paramecium, and they look kind of slipper-shaped. Now, the cilia I want to add also do help them to eat. That sweeps food into what is called the oral groove. And in the oral groove, they will form a vacuole around that food. There are also zooflagellates. This is an animal-like protist with flagella. And here in the background is Giardia. It uses its flagella to move and to eat. And some examples are Giardia, and African sleeping sickness. Now, not all zooflagellates cause disease. Some are actually very helpful, and they live in a symbiotic relationship with cockroaches and termites that eat wood. They help actually those organisms to digest the wood. So our objectives today were to explain why some protists are considered animal-like and identify and describe three major groups of protozoa: amoebas, ciliates, and zooflagellates. So don't forget your 5 questions and remember to keep watching to answer the questions at the end.